Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your man Grandma J here, coming at y'all with this video. I'm always smiling. It's crazy, even when I go through some shit, I'm always smiling, you know. So in this video, I really want to talk about knowing your self-worth and not undermining your potential or letting someone else that doesn't know you or letting someone that does know you undermine your potential. And what has called for me to make this video? A number of things. Okay, the number one thing that has called for me to make this video is the fact that I applied to a different company because I will be terminating my lease with Prime. And when you apply for other companies, of course, they have to call if you're still employed, they have to call your current employer, or for me, since I'm lease, they have to contact Prime and do a reference check. And they did a reference check, and my dispatcher said he usually follows up on reference checks. So he called me and we spoke, and he asked me a lot of questions that I felt like wasn't his business. But long story short, he tried to tell me what was best. In a way, he tried to tell me what was best for me, and trying to create a pissing contest between Prime and them, the other company. Now, what dispatchers need to understand is us as drivers are not their property. Like, even if you choose to go through a company-sponsored CDL program, you are not the property of that company. Yeah, you owe them debt. Yeah, you're under contract. But at the end of the day, if you want to go somewhere else, you can do whatever you want to do. You are not a machine that's supposed to be attached to this truck because they feel as though they don't want you to leave. Like, your decision is your decision. So I didn't really appreciate the fact that he tried to tell me what I'm doing is a lot less than what I'm currently doing. Like, if it wasn't for me not making money on this lease side and for the numbers actually not making any actual sense at all, then I wouldn't be applying to other companies. So don't tell me what's best for me if you can't even figure out how to make things work for me here. So don't ever let nobody undermine your potential. I had a trainer here at Prime tell me that I wasn't going to make it when I first started in the PSD program. What is this? 2 years clean, no accidents, no incidents, no violations, no nothing. 2 years. Now, I could have let that sink in and let that bring me down, but I didn't. I'm the type of person, this might sound crazy, but I'm the type of person that when somebody tell me that I can't do something, and I feel that they actually feel in their heart that I can't do something, it keeps me up at night. Like, it's hard for me to sleep because I'm constantly thinking about how I'm going to prove this person wrong. I never want to prove a person right about what they feel I have the ability to do. Always make calculated moves, always assess the situation. Even if your response to something is triggered by something that's emotional, always make sure that you're making calculated decisions for yourself and for the well-being of your family if you do have kids, or for the well-being of your household, point blank period. You always have to make calculated moves, but don't let no other person tell you what's a calculated move or not. I don't care if I quit Prime and went to drop pizzas. You better believe that I went to deliver pizza. You better believe that if I'm going home to deliver pizza from my current position, that I'll have something planned ahead. Like, you can't tell me what is foreseen in my future, especially if it's my future. It's not your future, and it's also not your decision to tell, or your place to tell me what's best for me. Now, this current company that I applied to, I'm not going to tell y'all what it is until I actually see whether it's a good place to be. I don't want to steer anybody in a direction. So I have orientation set up for September. I'm not even going to say the orientation. I'm turning in my truck September 7th. That's all y'all need to know. But I do have orientation set up. One door closes, another door opens. As always, keep your options open and prepare. A lot of people also wanted to know, how do you quit a trucking job? A lot of y'all tend to forget that even though trucking is a lifestyle, it is also a job just like everything else. You quit the same way. You know, me, I live by the rule of putting in a 2 weeks notice. I did put in a 2 weeks notice with Prime on when I'm turning in my truck, when, where, how, what. You know, you have to really CYA cover your ass. The right way for me, I am on the lease side, so charges will tend to rack up on this side. So I made sure that I had them cancel my e-fund and place all of the money that was on my e-fund onto my comp debit card. I messaged payroll to do that. So they canceled my e-fund for me and they put it on my card. And when they put it on my card, I used the app to draft the money from my card onto a comp check, and I deposited the comp check into my bank account. Just simple as that. My DM did question me on why I canceled my e-fund, which I also feel like isn't his business. But I didn't even respond. I just ignored his question. So one, I canceled my e-fund because I refused to allow for them to take money from me that I worked really hard for, especially 10 times hard for on this side of the company. Two, you want to have a plan B on what it is you are going to do, whether you are going to go to a different company or whether you're going to just go home to figure out what's next for you. As well, try to allow for yourself to have at least a month. So if you're going to put in a 2 weeks notice, make sure that you have a way to get all of your stuff home. So if you have a company terminal near you, like I do, I stay in Philly, and Piston is only 123 miles away. That's not really nothing. I told them I'm turning the truck into the Piston terminal on this date, and I'm also going home before I turn in my truck. So when I go home, I'll unpack my truck, I'll clean my truck out, and I'll bring back whatever I can take back on Greyhound with me, and that's that. Always look out for self, because the company isn't obligated to get you home or look out for you. At the end of the day, you are obligated to take care of yourself and to figure out how you're getting home from wherever you have to turn your truck in. Don't abandon the truck, even if your dispatcher is on some fuck shit and you feel like your company is on some fuck shit. Don't abandon the truck, because that really harms you in the end. So turn the truck in to one of their terminals, let them know where you're turning it in at, and then wash your hands, let it go from there. The third thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you record when you're dropping off the equipment, how you're dropping off the equipment. Make sure you notate any damages that you might have done, any damages that might have been done by someone else. That way, when your last check does come, if you do get it and you see some charges on there, you can dispute anything that wasn't you or that was there before, which is why it's always good to record the truck when you first get it and when you turn it in. That way you can compare and contrast and dispute any charges. Now, me on the lease side, I will be turning in my truck on a Sunday. If you're going to turn in a lease truck, try not to turn in the truck after payroll, because then you are responsible for that truck note that's coming up that following week. So just be on the lookout for that. If you owe the company any money, make sure that you pay off any debt that you owe them if you can. Me, I'm a good guy. I like to pay off my debt. I don't want to burn bridges, as well as I already have enough debt on my back. I don't need any more collection agencies calling me about money. So old Prime right now is $773. I will be paying them their money. If it means them keeping a check, then so be it. I'm not banking on getting my last check. I'll have about 3 checks coming up. I have next week's and 2 after that. So I'm not really banking on my final check. It is what it is. I am gonna make sure I clean my truck, and I'm not gonna expect nothing. That way, if I do get something, hey,